Scratch, scratch. Yeah. Hello. G'day everybody. We'll give it a little bit. Hello, scratch, scratch. We'll give it a minute for people to rock up, but it has been a big couple of days. You see, normally Sunday mornings, Australian time, is when I put out our weekly YouTube video, but today we have had technical difficulty after technical difficulty, and so the scratch, scratch. Oh, we are working. Oh, there we go. G'day, gentlemen. So, as I was saying, hello everybody. You probably are aware that normally this time, Sunday Australian time, which is Saturday night across the water, is when we put out our weekly video. But this week we've had technical difficulty after technical difficulty. We don't have a video ready, and I thought, why not hop on live and have a bit of a talk about one of the many dramas we face every day. And this week our drama was Frank. Frank decided to take himself for an explore around our 120 acre property. Gang, no, he's a Major Mitchell's cockatoo. Same family, both cockatoos, but scratch, scratch. Good boy. So yeah, the other night, a couple of nights ago, I went around to do my feeding as I normally do last thing in the afternoon, and I wasn't really feeling crash hot, which is no excuse, but basically I went around, I fed everybody, and normally with my birds I go in their aviaries and you know, clean out all the bowls and fill them up, but the other night I was feeling absolutely rotten, had a bug or something, and I do have these external feeders on the aviaries, which are really there so that if I'm away and somebody who's not comfortable with the animals can still make sure they've got clean food and water. So I opened the feeder, put his food in, closed it, and silly me forgot to put the latch on. I went to bed, I woke up the next day, I went to work, I had an early day, I came home at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, went to run around and do my welfare check, and of course there's no Frank. So like a madman, me and my partner, we went all over the property. Normally he'd be, you know, we've had him wander around the yard and stuff. He hangs around the house. He wants to perch on a fence post or something like this. But we checked the house, we checked all his favourite spots where we normally sit outside with him and enjoy some sun, and he wasn't there. We got on the road and we started driving, and you see Frank doesn't fly very well. He was clipped as a baby, so while he's grown his full flight feathers back, he doesn't really have much muscle mass. And I thought, oh, if he's flown somewhere and he's landed, he can't get the lift to get back up again. So we drove all over town, and it's rural properties out here, so we're looking into people's paddocks, and we sent an email to all the neighbours and the local wildlife carer, and I thought, I'll hop on the motorbike and I'll drive all over our farm. And we found him about 50, 60 metres up a big pine tree. So we brought his food and we sat it there for an hour or two, and it started to get later in the afternoon, and we started to get really nervous. I thought, if I can't get Frank down, he's going to stay up there overnight. And despite my best efforts, we've got plenty of feral cats around here, we've got foxes around here, we are in the country. And I thought, he's not going to survive a night. He's not going to survive a night out there. So we started to get drastic. We couldn't get a ladder up there. It's a pine tree, so it's not very stable. And I love Frank, but I'm not going to fall out of a tree and break my back. We tried all sorts of things. Eventually, with 4 people, half a dozen ropes and a tractor, we managed to get a strap up over this branch. We had to throw a thin line over with a weight and pull a heavy strap over and tie the strap down to the forks of the tractor and gently wiggle the branch until it motivated him to climb halfway down. He got to the rope, and the idea was we'd stop and he'd hopefully climb down the rope to his food bowl, because he could see the food and eye it off, but he just didn't have the courage to jump. But he climbed halfway down to the rope, and then he decided to take a jump. So luckily, Frank's back, he's safe and sound, we've got a new latch on there. But yeah, so that's our drama for the week, and since I couldn't get you a video, Frank escaped. Frank spent almost, well, probably 24 hours loose around the property, and we're lucky we got him back. But because I couldn't get a regular video out for you this week, I thought we'll hop on live and we'll have a look. We'll flick through the comments. G'day Joman, g'day RNG, Unseated Gaming, Australian Animals. Shannon, how are you feeling, mate? Hope you're coming good. Is he gang? No, like I said, he's a major Mitchell's cockatoo. How's my day been? Good. Unfortunately, I've been pulling my hair out overnight trying to get a video out to you guys, but the audio wasn't good and I couldn't edit it all together in time, and so we decided to postpone the video until next week and still bring out something live. I'm the second like, 11 people are here. Please remember to give a like. That's right. The more likes we get, the better we do. Unfortunately, and look, this is my fault. You're aware that I took a couple of months off doing videos. Ever since we've come back, we're not getting very many views. Which isn't anybody's fault other than mine. I suppose people haven't seen us for a couple of months, and the giant YouTube machine thinks that people aren't interested. So we're back to getting a couple of hundred views apiece. Oh, thanks, Frank. Warm steaming bird poo on my leg. After all the effort of getting you back. So yeah, the more likes, the more shares, the better. There was something about an American accent. Let me find it. My favourite birds. They are pretty cool. Can I speak with an American accent? An alligator can outrun a man on land. That's my best. It's my southern. I've busted it out for a few crocodile videos. Who wants to hear an American accent? We talk like chuckleheads, by the way. Hit that like button. That's right. Who escaped? Frank did. Can he talk and fly? Frank can fly, but he can't get lift. Basically, there's primary, secondary, tertiary flight feathers. When he was young, his primary flight feathers were always clipped. And as a result, he's never developed the muscle mass to sort of get lift. What can happen is, because he's got all the feathers still, if there's a breeze or if he jumps from a height, he can stay airborne. And it's not until he lands somewhere that suddenly he's stuck. And that's what I was really worried was going to happen, was that he was going to be able to fly, say, off our farm into town, and then be stranded wherever he was, not be able to come home. So yeah, he can't fly. He can talk a little. He says scratch, scratch, but it's squeaky. Scratch, scratch. You gonna talk? Can you dance? Yeah, you can dance. Scratch, scratch. That's his little squeak. It's about all he's got. How old is the dingo? The dingo's 9 years old. I should do a video with him someday. He doesn't sit still very well for a camera, so maybe sometime when I've got my partner here to hold the camera for me, because there'd be a bit of moving around. He looks so old now. He's such a beautiful. He's 5 years old now, Frank. So he's a big boy, but he could live the next 80 years or so. But anyway, so that's my drama for the week. Did I hatch him? Nah, he came to me at a couple of months old. I love you, but it's true that I hadn't seen you in months. I know, and it's if you've posted some, I'll come back and look. You have interesting videos. Yeah, unfortunately, and I don't know how many of you caught us on our last live stream, but yeah, we took a couple of months off, and basically, and I don't want to sound woe is me, but the whole world's in a bit of turmoil the last year, and it didn't affect anybody. Well, we were affected as badly as anybody else. Overnight we lost all our work, and the way that we fund all our animals and doing our videos is basically visiting schools and birthday parties and kindergartens, and our bread and butter is big annual events, country shows. We do the Eden Hope show and the Ballarat show. We set up for 3 or 4 days. We do venomous snake talks on the hour, and that's what keeps everybody fed and looked after. And when all that disappeared, being honest, it took a pretty hard toll just mentally. So, I thought, at first, we'll knuckle down and we'll do as many videos as we can. I'll be proactive. And we started organising some visits to other places, and then suddenly we started getting locked down. I couldn't visit anybody. And, I don't know. It started to get to a point where I felt like whatever I was going to do is going to get squashed. And basically, yeah, we sort of took a bit of a break, caught our breath, just enjoyed hanging out with the animals at home. And yeah, hopefully we'll get it all back rolling again. We had a visit to Lilydale High School about a month ago, and you might have seen a few videos out from there. We did a video on the pink tongue skink, the white lips tree frog, the ridge-tailed goanna, the pig-nosed turtle, Lots of cool videos. Hopefully, they get picked up a bit more and they'll start to see more views. We've got a few more videos coming out here. I've got to go and collect a bunch of my snakes again from a friend who was looking after them while we were, without any work. We've kept a lot, but some friends have watched some other ones for me for a few months. So yeah, there'll be a lot more videos coming, I promise. We'll see if we've got any other questions. How old was a dingo when I got him? He was about 6-7 weeks old. Your Majors is only 20 weeks. Majors are one of my favourite birds. I've hand-reared a couple, but he's the first one that's actually for me. And as much as I love them, I found that they often get to sort of maturity and then they take a big step backwards. Frank, he's friendly, he steps up, he likes attention, but when he was born, all he wanted to do was like cuddle up to me and have his head scratched, and now inside he'll step up, but I go into my aviary and he hisses and huffs and puffs and he doesn't want to be touched in his aviary. And it's ever since he got to maturity, he's sort of decided that's his spot, don't touch me. But you're still my baby, aren't you? Yeah. Hang on, we'll take this off. But what's the name of his type of cockatoo? So most people would know this guy here is the Major Mitchell's cockatoo. He's named after an explorer that went through inland Australia. Old textbooks call them pink cockatoos or leadbeater's cockatoos as well, which is named after a naturalist who described a few animals in Australia, like the leadbeater's possum, was named in his honour as well. But yeah, Major Mitchell's is probably the most up-to-date name, like umbrellas in the body of a galah. I think they're pretty cool. But generally, best cockatoo, generally very good with free flight. Yeah, I don't know if I'd trust Frank to come back to me. Well, he can't. He doesn't fly very well. But he might come back when he was ready to. But I've worked a bit with eclectus parrots that we had in some free flight stuff. And they were really good, males particularly. Male eclectus, red-tailed blacks. Another poo? Oh. We had half the town looking for you. Can he talk? He does say scratch, scratch, but you can't hear it very well. Can you say scratch, scratch? Scratch, scratch. Scratch, scratch. No, you just want to dance. How did I catch him? We had to get a tractor and a lot of ropes. We had to manage to get a rope over this branch, 50, 60 meters up, and tie it to the tractor and keep shaking the branch just gently until it motivated him to climb down to a point where he'd jump. So yeah, we're lucky we don't live in suburbia. I live out on a farm with horses and stuff in the background. Out on a farm where we've got access to this sort of stuff. So yeah, that's how we got him back. Yeah, hello. I suppose we won't hang around too long if there's not any questions or anything. But can he fly? He can fly, but not very well. So what I mean is once he's airborne, he can stay up. So if he jumped off me or if he jumped off the branch of a tree, but he can't get lift. So when he's on the ground, he doesn't have the muscle, because he's never flown as a baby, to get up. If you watch birds when they're about to leave the nest, the babies spend a few weeks sitting on branches just flapping, and they jump from branch to branch. And he was raised in captivity and he was clipped when he was a baby, so he just never developed that muscle mass. If he was a wild-born bird and he was going to be released, you could exercise him and get that going, but yeah, he's going to live his life in captivity. For how long can he fly? Well, until he lands. Once he's up, he's up. But once he lands, have I already made arrangements for who's going to take over his care when I die? Currently, no. That being said, he could live to 80 or so for a Majors. So, he'll probably outlive me by hopefully not all that much. But, one fortunate thing I suppose maybe I have that other people, a private keeper, doesn't, is because I'm involved in the zoo community, it's not like I've just got to find another pet owner. There'll be another educator or something like that. That's if my own kids don't decide to continue it on. Because we're going to have the same sort of discussion with our crocodiles. They're going to outlive me. some of our turtles came to us because they outlived their last keepers, and then they were handed to us. So yeah, we are going to have to put a plan in place for that. Currently, and this sounds a bit more, but currently, you know, that my partner has a list of names and contacts that if anything should happen to me, of people that could look after our animals. But you know, that list probably might not be valid by the time I'm in my 80s or 90s. So is he a lead beater or a mollusk? Yeah, so there is 2 subspecies for anybody who's not else isn't familiar. 2 subspecies of major Mitchells, which from my understanding is basically like a Western Central Australia population and an Eastern population. I don't know the exact subspecies because I do think that leadbeateri are the most common subspecies in captivity, but I also reckon that if there was the 2, they would be crossed back and forth a fair bit in captivity. You know, a lot of keepers don't recognise subspecies maybe, so yeah, it's not to say it's pure or anything. Can I send you a feather? Unfortunately, we've got funny rules about feathers, and a friend of mine wants a snake tooth. In Australia, we're not allowed to send out any material from native animals, so no, I can't really, but I'm sure you'd be able to find, you know, get in contact with your local zoo or something. He's the 3rd pink bird you've seen after the rosette spoonbill. Yeah, there's some other pink birds. He's naturally pink, and I suppose the most famous pink birds you think of are flamingos, and they turn pink as a result of their diet, which is really interesting. Know the fun of that? Flamingos, that's the one I was talking about. So anyway guys, gotta go, hop, see you next time. No worries, have a good day. Enjoy your major Mitchells. Look guys, I might wrap things up there unless there's any more questions, but I thought, like I said, I couldn't bring you out a video this week as we do normally. And you know, we've had a pretty big week trying to chase Frank down and get this bugger on back. But I thought I'd hop on and maybe answer some questions and share with you just what's been happening. And for anybody who didn't catch us on our last live stream, we're slowly getting a little bit of a studio put together. We're moving all our reptiles into the granny flat out here, which means we can do live streams from the reptile room. Currently, no reptiles in here yet. I need to get some electrical work done, but we've started, you know, prepping it with building a few things. Things like this. So once the reptile room is done, all the reptiles, well, all the indoor reptiles will move into here. This winter we want to spend a lot of time building some outdoor enclosures and move a lot of reptiles outdoors. But it means we'll be able to start doing some live streams with feeding and cleaning and behind the scenes stuff, which I've always sort of steered clear of. There's a lot of other channels that do that stuff really well, but a bunch of you guys have asked if we could do more, you know, behind the scenes of husbandry and stuff like that. And we thought, you know, it won't replace the videos we do. I like the videos we do answering questions on more natural history and biology and facts rather than pet tubers. But if it means we can maybe throw in a live stream every week or every second week doing feeding and cleaning, we will. The only thing is, I don't know about you guys, but it's pretty echoey in here still. That might change when we move some tanks in, but yeah, we might have to tweak the audio and stuff to get this room working. Check there's no more comments. Alright guys, well yeah, we'll wrap things up on there, but thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being patient with us over the last 6 months. I promise we are getting videos out now. We've got 4 or 5 videos out in the last 4 or 5 weeks. We've got a fair few more saved up, so we're not going anywhere anytime soon again, but yeah, we really needed a bit of a break with everything going on around the world. If you do want to help us get our videos out and get to these places that we've arranged to visit, we've got a trip to a zoo in Brisbane where we can film a bunch of South American animals, which would be really cool. And all that stuff and looking after the animals at the moment without any shows is basically made possible by our Patreon supporters. Does he dance to music? He's got really no interest in it. He dances when the hand dances. Yeah, but that's about it. He's quiet, he's pretty chilled compared to Rocco, our black cockatoo, who is crazy. He doesn't dance, but God, he makes noise. So yeah, you know, it's our Patreon supporters who have helped us out survive this. If you guys are wanting to see us visit some more places and you either want to, you know, join in the Patreon supporters, we've got a Facebook group where all our Patreon supporters get to see our videos first, and you know, answer any questions, things like that. But if you don't, that's fine. But the best thing you could do, if you see any of those supporters or me point them out in our comments, give them a thank you. They're the reason why you guys get to watch the videos. They make it viable. So, you know, we all owe them a bit of a thanks if you're enjoying the content. But yeah, I'll wrap things up there for the 5th time. We'll all just be happy and relieved that Frank is safe home. And I promise next week we will have a regular video out. But between now and next week, be nice to wildlife guys. Have a good one. Take care and be nice to each other.